Men of Reddit, what are some less obvious red flags about men you would want to caution women against? If you hear a little voice inside you that says I can change this man, he is not the man for you. My mom taught us don't worry if a guy dresses like a dork, that is one thing you can change, but make sure he's good on the inside, you can't change that. When someone is declaring multiple times they are not a certain way without prompt, they are actually that way. It's kind of amazing how many people give themselves away in this fashion. I'm probably certainly not immune to it either, I'm human after all. I think it's something we can only see in other people, and not in ourselves. It's so interesting to witness it. I'm a nice guy. Repeat several times in first few dates. Narrator, he was in fact not a nice guy. Some would even go so far as to describe him as an asshole. Blaming their childhood on treating you and others like rubbish. This goes for both genders, but don't date someone under the assumption that they'll change something fundamental about themselves. Not fair to either of you. This one is extremely obvious, yet I've seen dozens of women still make the same mistake. If he's rude, selfish and possessive before you're dating, he will not change once you start dating. I don't know why so many women think that a man will have an epiphany and become better once they get in a relationship. People very rarely change. And as always, hit that like button and subscribe for more. If a guy is doing the minimum of what you want in a long-term relationship at the beginning, it's going to be well below your standards after a few years. I would expect about half of what you see in the first year. If they behave like they know everything. Change is certainly not their cup of tea. I have a friend who knows so many random things. He's just super knowledgeable. But he doesn't go around flaunting it. If someone's curious or if it comes up in conversation, he's got the answer a lot of the time, but he's not shoving it in our faces. If anything, we in the friend group are the ones who say he knows a lot more often than he'll say it. When they don't respect the word no, even in the most benign of circumstances. If they don't like dinosaurs. Facts. If yo man doesn't have a favorite dinosaur, they ain't yo man. They just another bitch. Get yo man who likes stegosauruses. Bitch. When he looks to you as his sole source of happiness, entertainment. This usually means that they lack the ability to manage their own emotions or have healthy coping mechanisms. In addition, if you are in it for the long term, there will be times that you will get sick of each other and a guy needs some hobbies that can take his attention away to give you space. This can be an open door for manipulation. My husband always tells me I'm his entire life. Any moment when he is not at work, he wants to be with me. He has no friends. When we were dating, I thought it was so refreshing to have a man put me first and be obsessed with me. After being married for a few years, I'm suffocating. He blames me for absolutely every problem since I'm the only person he interacts with outside of work. If he doesn't want to talk about awkward stuff while you are dating, then he might not want to talk about awkward problems in the relationship. A green flag to look for is long-term friendships. Long-term friends require good communication skills and emotional intelligence. It's also a pretty good indicator that they're willing to compromise for someone's emotional needs. If he starts throwing tantrums over petty things, there is worse on the horizon. He's not passionate, he's unstable. Overpleasers. They never seem to have their own opinion, especially if it conflicts with yours. Yes, men are for corporations, not relationships. If he's mean to servers, but nice to you, he's not a nice person. That lesson really sunk in as I was driving his car back to his place after having left work unexpectedly because he needed picked up from the dentist after oral surgery. He was in a lot of pain but polite and friendly to every nurse there, then proceeded to growl and rage at me the entire time. Then when we got to CVS, he was a dream to the pharmacy staff, then an asshole to me when I dropped him off at home. So here I was driving his car back to his house after getting dropped off by a coworker back at the dentist so he'd have his vehicle the next day after being verbally abused for the last 2 hours. It was like night and day between how he treated me and how he treated everyone else. I've seen stories of guys who rage and break their things when gaming. As someone who has been playing video games for about 20 years now, that is not normal, nor is it okay. Like swearing, sure, that's understandable, but getting angry and breaking stuff ain't it. It's just violent behavior and a red flag. Love bombing. If you guys aren't in high school struck by puppy love, this is just a manipulation tactic. Just my opinion, but somebody who respects the women or men they're dating aren't going to tell you they love you and see a future with you in the first couple of weeks. Love bombing is the most toxic trait. Ladies, love bombing is a way to push past your boundaries from very early on. Once those boundaries have been bulldozed down, it's very hard to establish them later on when he becomes far too much. I tell my friends this all the time. The ones that don't listen unfortunately always have stories after a couple of months. Lots of gossip. If he talks about other people, he'll talk about you. If they say Lego is for kids, men aren't nearly as complicated as women want them to be. Listen to their words. Take note of their actions. Notice what they don't do and don't say. I've always had female friends and it blows my mind how often women seem to believe that an asshole is just pretending and there's actually prints and they're waiting to come out. If you want a man to change, prepare for disappointment. If he never disagrees with you, it means he's putting in a show. Be prepared for that to change at some point. If it seems like they text back super fast all the time and get annoyed when you don't reply fast enough, they may be overly clingy and may be the jealous type who will constantly be paranoid about you cheating. Don't trust a man who can joke about others but can't take it. I'm coming in late, but this is something I've tried to teach all my daughters. Men will show you how they feel with their actions. If they say they care, but don't put in the effort, listen to the actions. Not the words. Good advice for dating, but also good advice for life really. Can't keep a job and does not have much interest in doing so. You will grow to hate a man with no ambition. Many things can derail a person, but if he is unwilling to try, your life will be a misery. Thanks for watching. And as always, hit that like button and subscribe for more.